been jazzed up for today.
All right, so who's starting? Because we're rolling. We're just burning time.
Oh, I was waiting on you, in all honesty. So we're going to bring it in now.
We got lost in the moment.
We were just having some fun talking. Welcome to Five's a Crowd.
Hello.
Hi.
I've got my fellow friends with me. Tony.
Hello.
Austin.
Hey.
Chris.
Hello.
And Cam.
Says it right there.
Yes, see?
Thanks
Those of you
to
tuning in on the
To
YouTubes,
Chris's wonderful wife.
Chris's wonderful wife
she made us all matching cups.
with our favorite color, minus Austin.
Yeah, I got blue when I asked for purple.
In her defense, he did say blue first.
I object.
I did say blue as a joke
You did.
because I knew it would start a fight.
You should have said ha ha or ya ya.
And then
What
we
would have
got
started a better fight is if you would have said red.
Yeah,
I would have fought you for that.
Okay.
to the death.
And then you would have been like, okay.
No. I'm turning a new leaf.
Are you?
Yes.
What if the leaf
Can't
fights
push me
back?
over. then I'll stop.
He's turning it over because it asked him to.
Yes.
Quit riling up the crowd. Oh, no.
He turns it over and then the wind blows it back. Oh.
Well, I tried.
That's tried. That's it.
You're not getting a tip from me, buddy.
That's what she said?
Oh, well, I sure hope so.
All right.
Speaking on that note, we got Valentine's Day coming up.
Yes.
Valentine's.
And
Valentine's, single awareness, whatever.
Single awareness.
Just so you're aware,
however
though,
you celebrate it.
if it's just Valentine's Day that you're treating your lady with respect, you got a problem.
It's true.
Dude, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I don't care for Valentine's.
Me
I
neither.
think it's dumb.
Yeah, it's just another glorified spending money day.
Exactly.
That being said, I will be a part of it.
See,
Not
I'm with
by
Chris.
choice.
I'm with Chris on this. You should just be doing it all the time.
Oh, I do.
It means more when you do it on a day that you're not supposed to do it.
Yup.
Touche.
That's
Well,
just,
well,
that's my cheap part
youthful
saying
little-
that, though.
Wow.
Beautiful
Way to
nugget
make
of
us all
wisdom.
look bad.
Whatever, I teamed up with him. It was you guys. Austin's been the silent neutrality. You guys are not saying
I haven't said anything except that.
I like the excuse of having I just like having an excuse to go out and do something really nice.
With Austin on that, it's more of an excuse to get out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay,
The
I
presents,
can see it from that lens.
The presents and gifts I could see, a no-go on that. But a date night,
We don't go crazy. I'd more just do some flowers and
little pickle tickle.
But we're not here to talk about the beautiful dates that we offer.
No, I want to talk about the awkward dates. And I want to start it off with each of us having our own personal one because I know we have to have a personal story.
Something.
Oh man, I have to rack my brain.
I don't. I'll make one up.
I'm just
did
not an
Chris
awkward.
even date?
Yeah,
Not that I knew.
I was like a leech. First blood, I stuck.
We know the story. He found the one he wanted, and he's like, I'm going to get that one. And he never left until it happened.
Yeah. I mean, I dated in high school a little bit, but I don't remember. I don't think it was ever awkward. Well, maybe
Are
it's
you
just
sure?
me not thinking it was awkward. Maybe they're like, what the hell was that? That's true.
It's like,
I was like, that was perfect. It was perfect. They're like, what happened?
Did you ever have any dates that never returned your call?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Because I hunted him down in school the next day.
Hey, why didn't you answer my text?
gave him the crazy eyes.
calling you.
I didn't have a phone in high school.
It's hard to ignore me when I'm looking through their bedroom window.
Writing I love you in my breath. You're the one.
Wow.
And I spelled out one so they knew I meant it.
See?
You know? I didn't do any of that. None of that.
Well, I'll start it off. You want me to start?
yeah,
it off?
please do.
Oh, yeah,
Please do.
you've got the plethora.
I do. I'll start it off with my very own. So there was this girl who I became really good friends with back in junior high. She moved in 8th grade, moved into my old neighborhood. So she got to know my friends from that neighborhood. And anyways, started becoming really good friends with her. Ended up having a really big crush on her. Those feelings were not reciprocated at all.
Cruel.
But I got friend zoned really quick. I'm not gonna lie. But I took the opportunity. We had both turned 16. Our birthdays were like 2 weeks apart from each other. So sometime over the summer, I took the opportunity and took her on a date. I remember being so nervous because I was so excited. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to make her like me. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to win her over, and I'm going to make her like me.
Did you try the breath trick?
What's that?
He just
Staring through the
shared
window. Staring through the window.
Gotcha. No.
It's not the one that you blow into a video game.
I still wanted to be good friends with her, you know. I don't want to...
Flashback.
Jiggle it around in there a little bit.
Push the button just right.
So, anyways, we go see a movie. And we went and saw, so this tells you how long ago it was. We went and saw Tomb Raider 2, I believe.
Angelina Jolie.
Anyways, the whole to this day, I haven't seen the movie again. I don't know what the movie's about. I was so focused on trying to put
hold
the
her
moves
hand.
on her, hold her hand,
Yeah.
do something that I couldn't focus on the movie. So anyways, we're halfway through the movie. I finally get up the nerve. I put my arm around her, and all of a sudden I'm talking out loud, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it. I put my arm around her. I did it. And I caught myself talking out loud that I stopped. And then it was so awkward. And I could just tell that it just was not the way it should have been. And I think like literally 5 minutes later, I finally just took my arm back. And I was like, I'm just going to sit here.
I would have moved an entire seat away.
Did you hold your own hand? I would have held my own hand at that point.
Here we go.
That's awesome.
And
perfect.
needless to say, so like I said, we're still really good friends after that. I don't think we went on another date though.
Quick question. How did you ask her on the date though? Was it awkward asking her?
No, I think we talked on the phone quite a bit, and I just said, hey, do you want to go see a movie this weekend?
So that
Just
part was smooth.
something simple, yes.
Oh.
Yes. Then it was me determining to put the moves on her, and boy, it failed.
It's one of those things that I wish I could have like watched it,
Right?
like a row back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do the
Literally-
whole stretch thing? Like
I
you
kind of
stretch and-
did, yes. I kind of.
Poor guy.
I'm not gonna. It was cringeworthy. Like if you were in the back seat watching, you'd be like, "What is this guy doing?" So, and I'm curious. I never even talked to her about it, and we're still friends to this day. I mean, not as good as friends as we used to be, but we still talk every once in a while. I'm curious to know what she even thought about it, because this day I still think like that was cringeworthy. Like it was bad.
She honestly probably didn't even think anything.
That's
of
what
it.
I'm thinking. She's
Probably
probably like,
noticed.
if she's listened to this now, she's probably like, in all honesty, I didn't even notice.
What if she was like, man, I wish you would have kissed me?
Oh, that would no. That's like when you do that
not.
Deal or No Deal,
Dude,
and you're
I had
like no deal or deal, and then
had
you
a
like
girl-
open it up and it's $1 million case. You're like,
Yeah. Yeah, I had a girl. I've had a few girls because I like tell me later on that they liked me at the time that I liked them, but I was too afraid to do anything.
I had a couple
Hated
girls
that.
do that back in high
I'm like,
school.
hey, thanks. How about now? No? Okay. Then why did you even give me the information?
Well, now I'm in a serious relationship.
Go home.
Now, ladies, if you're listening and you want someone to make a move, how about you make the move?
Yeah.
Most of the
Right?
time,
For
the
real.
guys are totally down, and they
It's
see a
true.
little bit of a push.
That which brings me to another story.
Yeah.
I actually
Hold on,
had so.
Get comfortable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I get comfortable. This is gonna be all about me tonight.
Right on.
I'm ready. I am ready.
I'm excited.
You guys wanted Zach, you're getting it.
So there was this girl. This was probably about a year before I'd met Kara, maybe two, something like that. Anyways, she was one of my friend's sisters, and went up to her house one day. We worked together a little bit at a print shop, and she was telling me, it was at work that day, she's telling me how much she loves pineapple. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to surprise her. I went and bought her a pineapple. Went up to her house because I was supposed to go do something with her brother that night. And I was like, hey, look, I got you a pineapple. She was so excited. We ended up cutting it up, all that stuff, had some pineapple. Anyways, couple days later, go back up there, watch a movie with her. And as we're getting ready to leave, she's telling me, man, I wish when guys liked me, they would just tell me straight up that they like me. And looking back on it now, I know she's telling me like, hey, just tell me you like me and we'll go from there. And I'm like, you know what? I wish girls would do that. I'm like, I wish girls would come out and just say, I like you. Anyways, we had this conversation for like a half an hour by her car about how we wish that guys would be honest, girls would be honest. I never once caught on that she was trying to tell me just to say that I like her.
So that she could say that she liked you.
Yes. And needless to say, I got in my car, drove off, and we never really had another date after that.
Oh, man.
Dude, I hurt for you.
For real.
I hurt so bad.
She just raised your hand.
I should have. I should have just raised my hand and said, I like you.
I'm one of those guys.
Hey, all in favor of who likes who in this party, raise your hand. On three.
That's a good way to do it.
If someone in this area likes someone else, raise your hand.
Oh, you don't. I like someone in this area. It's not
I never
you.
said you.
I said tri-state area. Did you not hear that part? Okay.
Dear God.
See, I'm the type I would tell a girl just straight up, I like you. And the problem is it was like always too fast, and then I'd scare them and they'd run away.
And then she'd be like, oh, I wasn't talking about us. And you'd be like, you tease.
There's this guy in fifth grade science, or fifth period science. You're like, oh, we have fifth period science.
And there's 20 other dudes in there. Communication skills should be something like drilled into kids in like first grade.
I was horrible at picking up any signals whatsoever.
I just hate the gameplay. Like when I talk to single people now that are going through the dating world and hearing some of their stories, it makes me so happy to be married.
Yes.
Oh man.
That's why I'm grateful I got married at a young age. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people like to, have their 20s as their dating period and venture out or whatever. Me, I was married at 20 years old and I am so happy I was. Well, I hated dating.
Not to mention at our 20s age, I feel like we had to put more of an effort into it. Nowadays, online dating is...
It's true.
Oh, but they have the effort
They're
that
a
comes
swipe
right
away.
after that. I think so.
Actually, with that, so Jenny told me one that I'm surprised she's not murdered. She met a guy. She said she was somewhere between 16 and 18, somewhere in there. But she met a guy on MySpace. And, right?
Saucy.
MySpace.
Wow.
Did he put her in her top eight?
For those of you who don't know what MySpace is,
Oh, they all do.
that is pre-Facebook.
They all do.
That's true.
Go to the Smithsonian.
I've seen
That's
our
a
age
space.
demographic.
Oh, okay.
They all
All right,
are
all
on
right.
MySpace.
Oh,
They get it.
It was a
Sorry, they
space on
get
the
it.
internet, and it was mine.
It's not that hard.
And I could put my music on there.
Oh, yeah.
Side note, I saw a
Videos?
tweet the other day that said, I wish they'd bring back the MySpace like top 8 because some of my friends need to be put in their place.
It's true. You know how hurt you were when you didn't make it on that top 8?
No, or when you
saw
were
yourself
and you
then
moved down.
the next day, or you were off of it the next day.
Like you had a fight with your friend and they were pissed and just like moved you down a peg and you're like, son of a...
Dude, I'll be honest. I never paid attention to anyone's top 8.
Oh,
Never. Not
it was a
once.
mind game.
I moved it around all the time.
You were the
Especially-
guy who was not in the top 8. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, possibly.
I don't know. I never looked at that either, to be honest.
I never did, and I don't even know. I might have had a top 8. I don't know if I
everyone
did
had
or
a
not.
top 8.
I mean,
This
if I
is-
did, I didn't.
In retrospect, I don't remember.
It was
who had
probably
me in
just like
theirs or
who I was
in
hanging out
mine.
with.
This is how much I paid attention to it. If it was a girl I liked and I was in the top 8, I was all excited. And then if I got moved down, I went, well, that's going to crap. All right, let's go to the next one.
That was your dating status.
Yep.
The freaking
Sorry,
the
Tony.
subtle tease.
Anyways,
No, this is great.
There's a 50% chance we're not going on a date again.
Oh, I like those odds.
30.
Just go give her a pineapple.
I don't think I was
she
on
likes
anybody.
pineapple.
And you, but you didn't catch that.
Apparently.
You figured out the pineapple easy.
That's because she said she liked pineapple.
You show up with a pineapple and a knife.
She's like, I I just wish guys were honest, especially like the redheaded ones. Just
All right, Tony, tell us the story.
Continue on Jenny's story.
16 to 18 MySpace. Got it.
Yes. So she met this guy on MySpace, and she didn't really go into a whole lot of detail, but they ended up meeting up in person, and he got lost though trying to find her house to pick her up for their date, and ended up in like the Freeport Center. So she had to put her mom on the phone with him so mom could explain how to get out of the Freeport Center and to their house. And they ended up.
She live did she live close by there?
She did, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was thinking she lives where her parents currently live now. I was like,
No.
wow, he was way off.
Samsonite.
That sounds like a trap.
I gotta be honest,
could you
before
meet me?
pre-GPS, dude, that Freeport Center was a maze.
even
Oh, I
with
can only
GPS, it's
imagine.
still freaking because it tells you to go somewhere, and you're like, no.
Well, that's because it was MapQuest. You're like,
I got
how
pulled
do I
over.
get out of here?
I got pulled over in there because I kept passing by and there's a cop. What are you doing in here? I was like, I can't get out of here.
Trying to leave.
Directions, please.
My dad would always drive up the loading docks. It was so cool.
One more sidebar. There was one day where I got lost in the Freeport Center, and I contemplated ramming the fence just to get out. I was like, I'm trapped. How do you get out?
How hard can chain link be?
I can take it.
A couple scratches.
All right, go. For the love of God, go.
This conversation's lost in the Freeport Center.
Sad thing is this particular story doesn't even it doesn't even have a good punchline, because they end up going bowling. Everything goes well. He drops her off. The night ends, and they never went out again. But the funny thing was that they met online, and it could have been creepy. And he was lost in the Freeport Center, but
See,
it wasn't.
this is why we kept detracting from your story. We could just feel.
Okay, but
it
here's
wasn't.
so. Jenny told me another one though that I kind of want to let Austin tell.
Oh, no.
Why was he the awkward date?
Was I the awkward date?
He was the awkward date.
Was the awkward? Yes! Yes! I don't remember.
So it wasn't awkward for him.
I don't even remember.
You were in Lauren's basement, from what she said. You guys were watching a movie and stuff, and
I don't remember this at all.
I guess that's a good thing.
I think Austin just blocks out the awkward that happens in
Lauren's
his life.
basement. I don't even remember being in Lauren's basement ever.
See?
See, Austin's always about positivity.
Blocked it out.
The other
Exactly.
stuff
See,
just-
that's how
Exactly.
you live a positive life.
It's
You
so
just
true.
forget everything.
You gotta have amnesia.
I don't remember
Okay,
that.
go on. I'm curious how awkward I was. Let's go.
So she said that Lauren left the room to go get popcorn or do something, and you not only made a move on her, it was like a full on like a leaning over, like you like crawled on top of her,
Wow.
and just full on like went at it.
Were the lights off? What if Jenny was thinking of someone else?
Well, and the funny thing,
I feel like I would have remembered this.
and
Go
then,
ahead.
well, the funny thing is, so then Lauren comes back. Jenny tries to give her the eye, like, please don't leave the room again. And so Lauren thought it was funny and left the room again. And sure enough, you went right back at it.
Yeah.
By this time, she said she just sat there. And that's why you said she makes out like a wall. Because she didn't want to. She
And
just
I
stood
feel
there.
I feel like that happened in a car.
Well, then she said you took her home that same night. And then
Really?
Third time's a charm.
yeah.
Maybe she'll open her mouth a little bit this time.
She's just nervous.
I don't remember that at all.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you don't remember making out with my wife. So
Wow.
Or making out on your wife.
putting it.
Whoa, hold on. Never mind.
Hold
Sorry.
up.
That did not go the direction that I had. I'm shutting up.
all right, somebody else go.
Oh my gosh. Who was that?
What?
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I
Actually-
mean, this, what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say on the whole like awkward makeouts. One of my friends told me a story. She said, sorry, I'm gonna have to just read it because it's just better in text. So She said, I text somebody thinking it was a friend's number. It turned out to be a return missionary. We kept texting and decided to go on a date. 10 minutes into the date, and we are just talking. I turn and look at him while chatting, and his eyes are closed, mouth wide open, tongue out, and he's coming at me like a fish.
Whoa.
I turned my head
He
and
is a return missionary. I mean, it's been 2 years, so
His lips don't work that way.
His tongue's got a lot of making up to do.
So she says, I turned my head and act like I didn't notice and kept talking. When I turned to look again to see if he had stopped, he was at it again, and I wasn't fast enough to stop him. He was all tongue, and his mouth was pretty big. It covered my whole mouth, and my chin and my chin got slobber on it. I still shudder thinking about it. But yeah, I thought that one was
Chin got slobber. Are we talking
Yeah.
like a tip of the chin? Got slobber? Like he made it all the way down there?
I just picture full on like
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's like a
That's like a dog that's got Skittles or something.
Skittles?
You never gave your dog Skittles?
No.
That was a very specific example.
I heard it.
Skittles is
I
the
heard it
neighbor's
from
dog.
a comedian somewhere or something.
Ron
where-
White.
Yeah.
when he puts it up in the jowls.
And it just sits him.
It's going to be a good day, Tater.
So my wife, that reminds me of one my wife told me.
Okay.
So my wife went bowling with a guy from school, and he went in to kiss her as well. And she said she didn't want to kiss him, so she kept her lips closed. And she said the guy just sit and licked all the way around her
my
mouth the
gosh.
whole time. And like so, until she pulled away, he thought eventually she was gonna like open
Give
her
him-
mouth or something. Maybe he was trying to dig his tongue in there.
God.
He gets his finger up in there just like,
First layer's gone. Now the teeth. Open those teeth.
see, he didn't get the hint, but that's worse. At least you're not getting the hint. Wasn't that bad? Oh, man.
That's almost assault.
It's terrible visual. Terrible visual.
Gosh.
I'll add on to these two. So I had a friend send me a message as well. She said, went out with a really cute guy a few times, and we reached that point of kissing, and I knew it was coming. She said, so he was walking me in my door. We went in for a hug first, but when we hugged, he just started making out with my neck.
Like a vampire?
And so she
Was
said,
he biting or licking?
just licking, making
Picture
out,
making
kissing.
out,
Yeah.
but with a neck.
Didn't even kiss her first, huh?
And so
Just like went for
she
it.
says to make
Moving
it
up the
worse,
neck.
I pulled away and he just said I tasted good.
Hold up.
Wait, okay.
Hold up.
Hold on. All right. Can you like? I just imagine this guy's just like, it tastes good.
So she said needs to say after that she walked inside and she made the joke on there too. I went and grabbed garlic and a steak. We're just waiting.
Oh my God.
She just could you imagine just
I saw this in a
thinking-
movie once.
He's all, shh.
I mean, from what it sounds like, she was
disgusting.
totally willing to kiss the guy, but he just went right for the neck.
He's
Just
got a thing for necks. It's all about the nape.
I saw this in a
Here,
movie
buddy.
once.
I'm
It was
just
called
trying to think
Dracula.
I'm just trying to think of how the neck would taste. Like salty?
Haven't you ever kissed your wife's neck?
Like
Well, it
Aqua
depends.
Di Gio
I mean,
for women.
But
Like, how far does her makeup go down? Her
Yeah.
makeup's on her neck.
But I mean,
What
like,
about perfume?
I've never
perfume?
like
Tabasco?
tasted good. Like, you know,
right? Yeah, for
like
that,
it just
for
tastes
that
like.
comment. No, you taste good.
Like, what are you doing? Like, if
dude,
anything, like
I mean, does it even
perfume tastes
taste right?
terrible.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've gotten perfume. Yeah.
It took me 10
Well,
years
chemical?
of marriage to finally tell my wife that. So,
That
Perfume?
perfume is disgusting.
no, that she tasted good. I just can't.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Her neck, obviously. Her neck. Tastes good.
Her neck.
Okay, it's her neck.
I'm sorry, honey.
Damn juveniles.
Sorry. Sometimes it just goes.
Leave it to Chris.
I got one. I got an awkward story.
Let's hear it.
Chris matches your microphone a little bit.
He's a little red.
Just a little bit.
Oh, I said that and immediately regretted my decision.
Lisa's at home just hanging her head, shaking it. That's all.
That's it. I should have
No.
made him a cup.
She watches it first thing in the morning. She's going to come in and wake me up. And she's going to make, what the heck? That's what's going to happen.
How did you do that just now? Your mouth didn't close, but I still heard the L. That was weird. That tripped me out. It's like my brain froze for a
Skipped
second.
her second.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
All right,
Go with your story.
So I've
Wait, Cam said he had
Cam's
one.
got a story.
Sorry.
I got a funny one. So, I went on. I had gone on a couple of dates with this girl, and she was a friend. She was a friend of two of my friends who were dating, and so set up on a blind date or stuff. First one was fun, so we hung out some more. One time I had her over to my house. We're just hanging out, watching TV, kind of snuggling and stuff, and for whatever reason, we got a little kind of tickle fight kind of thing going. Well, she.
I remember this story.
Yeah.
I remember this.
For whatever reason, I
my
have no
God.
idea what cue she took, what made her think this would be fun.
no.
She starts pinching my nipples. Okay? Straight up ha, ha. And I'm like, now, ow, ew, ew. And she just keeps coming at the nipples, man. She's relentless for the nipples.
You don't like your nipples being touched?
Not like that. I felt assaulted. And she just keeps going for the nipples, and I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. And I did not. It was so awkward because I had no idea how to make it stop. I didn't know how long it was gonna go on.
That's when you reciprocate.
Sure, you give her. No. That's when you flick her in the nose. No. Roll up the magazine. Rub her face in it.
So not shortly after, things were just kind of weird. So not shortly after, I ended up taking her home, and we get there, and we're standing in the driveway, and this girl is my exact height. So we are the same height. To me, that is super weird. I've always
that's
liked
a
shorter
tall
girls.
girl.
Yeah, she's 5'10", 5'11", and I've always liked shorter girls. I don't know. There's just something about the way you hold them and you're kissing, and it's just better.
Rest your chin on their head.
Yeah, sure. Tickle them with your beard, whatever. But so I decided to kiss the girl goodnight, right? And I go in for the kiss, and she starts making out. So we're standing there making out, and the whole time, all I can think of is my nipples hurt.
How do you like it?
And how weird it is to kiss somebody looking forward and not kind of down, or being able to stand the exact height and kiss. Think about it. Try it. Kiss just straight.
That's my daily life.
You don't
Want me to
kind
start singing
of
with my
tilt.
microphone?
I'm with
It's
right
just
there
like-
with you.
How is it not weird for you?
I was going
I
to say
love
Jenny's
my
only
wife.
she's only an inch and a half shorter than me.
It was so weird to me. I guess it was just me because all the girls I had dated up until this girl have all been shorter. And it was just so weird to me to stand there and I just couldn't do it, dude. I just couldn't do it.
That's probably what your friend had with the vampire guy.
He couldn't reach her face.
I thought
He's a short guy.
I thought you were gonna say she went and kissed my nipple.
Bro, if I'd shown it, she probably would have.
As you're making out, she's down there
But that's not the last time. There was another time we hung out, and again, she started a little tickle thing and just straight to the nipples. Every time, dude.
maybe she was trying to give you a hint.
I mean, probably.
He's instead of pinching, you just whap.
Took it right off.
So since we're kind of on the awkward making out,
I thought you were going to say nipples.
What?
I thought you were going to say nipples.
I'm gonna get off the nipples.
Well, I'll never get off the
So-
nipple.
Such a funny word.
Nipple.
So this other friend of mine, he called me and told me an awkward date story, and I got his permission to use his name because that's kind of what makes it funny too. So his name's Ryan, and he was dating a girl named Ryan.
Oh.
And so two Ryans, and he said that they went on a double date and they he's like, this part was extremely weird as it is, but they coupled up, of course, but they started making out in a dark room together. And so it was like a PG orgy. like they were just
both couples started making out.
no,
Closed hands in buckets?
like just fully clothed. They were just making out. So Ryan with Ryan, and then his two friends were making out and stuff. But he said that so like I said, that already was kind of weird. He said he looks back at it and was just weirded out. But he ended up finding out later that his date was holding his friend's hand while they were all making out.
What?
So I'm trying to. So the girl
he's making out with is
so
holding
he's
hands with
making
the
out
guy
with
who's
the girl.
making out with another girl?
correct. Yeah.
So did they know they were holding hands?
Yes.
So
Scoundrels.
they did it on purpose.
Yeah. But like, how weird is that? Like you're making out with this girl that's actually holding hands with your best friend while he's making out with a different girl. Yeah.
Why wasn't he
That's-
holding hands with her?
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Did they have, is there any explanation for the...
So he did say that this Ryan girl, kind of bounced between him and his friend, and they were okay with it. Like he dated her, and then when he was like kind of on the getting sick of her, they weren't working out, then she'd go back to the best friend, and they kind
vice
of
versa? Then he'd get sick of her and she'd come back?
yeah. I don't know how many times she bounced, but it sounded like at least a couple times. But apparently she was ready to make the bounce, and they weren't, and so she was holding hands or something. I don't know.
Oh, gross.
But I couldn't date somebody with my same name, and I've got a name where it could be a girl. You know, I couldn't date a Tony.
I get it.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, it would be weird.
It would be, because I mean, you'd get to a point where you'd have to say that person's name in a provocative way.
Oh, I'm good at that.
He does that to me every morning in the shower.
He practices every day. Now, Cam, you could date a girl named not anymore, but
Yeah,
you could have dated a girl named Cameron.
True.
It's true.
Did you ever?
I never dated a girl named
Or
Cameron.
Cammy?
Chris could
Well,
too.
a
Kind
fun
of.
fact, the nipple pincher was named Cammy.
Cammy the nipple pincher.
Nipple pincher.
Nice. All right, well, I've got a story. And I feel like I've told this story before, but maybe not. Did I ever tell the story about my junior high prom? Oh, this sucked.
that I know of.
think
This
so.
sucked big time. So all throughout junior high, there was one girl that I found extremely attractive. And I finally got the courage to ask her to, what did they call it back then? Junior prom? Is that what it was called? I think so. In junior high?
I
Anyway.
never had a prom in
I
junior
feel like
high.
junior prom. Yeah.
It was just for like
A
your
dance.
last year. It was like freshman.
Ninth
Freshman,
grade.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
So
Okay.
anyway, I asked her to it and she said yes. And I was floored. I was so excited. And she even made me like a matching tie that matched with her dress because they like handmade her dress, which was pretty cool. Anyway, we go to this dance, and I want to say earlier that day, I got in a fight, like a fist fight. And I can't remember if this whole day is just really hazy because it's a really old memory, but I want to say I swallowed a bunch of blood that day.
Did you win?
From the fight? No, because it was two guys.
Oh, that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I went to this dance with a black eye and I wasn't feeling good. You know how like if you've ever been in a fight that you get those crazy adrenaline rushes post and then you get those heavy swings where your gut just it goes in knots. Anyway, so I go to this dance. I'm finally on like, pinnacle, back to like happy. I'm super pumped. I feel bad that I have a black eye going to ninth grade prom.
Just turn away from the camera.
But I'm just pumped that I'm going with this girl. And so we go, and all this, like, we're dancing, and this song comes on. It was probably like, not Ricky Martin. Who's the other Spanish singer from back then?
Enrique Iglesias.
That guy.
Oh, there you go.
I could be your hero.
I could
baby.
be her. It was that song. It was that song.
baby.
And the thing is it was her favorite song at the time. So
And
it
you
was like,
fought for her love.
yeah, and it was that time to like
you were trying
get
to be
all
her
close,
hero, weren't
right?
you?
So I I'm like, we're dancing, and all of a sudden I just start feeling super nauseous.
Oh, no.
Way nauseous. And I'm like, oh man. And I'm like fighting it off till the last second. And then I'm like, I gotta go. I'll be back in a second. And I knew I was gonna throw up. So I go running out the gymnasium. And if you remember, well, I'm sure all gymnasiums in junior high are this way, but they had the locker rooms attached. For whatever reason, the locker room doors were locked. So you couldn't go into them. So I go busting out the doors and running down the hallway to the closest bathroom I could think of. And I get to that bathroom door and I go to push on it. It's locked too. I'm like, where are we supposed to go? And so I turn around, I go running back down the other way, and I couldn't make it any further. I threw up. It goes all over the floor, all over my pants and my shoes. And I'm just like running through it, trying to like get outside. So there's this line of puke going down the hallway. And like she got no, I don't know where he went. He just like left and he ran away. So I finally make it outside, and I'm just trying to catch my breath and like not get nauseous. And I'm out there, I take off my shoes and I'm just wiping the vomit onto the grass. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do, man. I'm all covered in puke. Like, I can't go back in there. I got a black eye. Like, I look like a mess. And so I finally get like cleaned up as best I can. And I just go back in there and I explain what happened. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to go home. I'm too embarrassed right now. So I end up going home, and I am so sad. But yeah, because it was
not like an awkward thing. That's just a sad story.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh man, this sucks. But
Did she ever like call you again or anything?
we did hang out afterward, but I was always just like, oh, this sucks.
So that reminds me of one with Jenny. It was before we were married. We were still dating. And Clinton was having their Clinton days. And so they had the fairground and stuff there. We made the mistake of eating at McDonald's before going to the fair. And if you've ever been to a fair, pretty much 99% of the rides are spinning rides. And so, yeah. So we do like the Gravitron, which is freaking awesome. I can't do it anymore. My old self can't handle it. But
It's where you lay on the
It's
seats.
an inner
Yeah.
ear thing.
Yeah, have you guys ever been on it? It's the one where you lay on they're like vertical beds type thing, and then it
just
gets
spins in
spinning
a circle
so
and you're
fast.
just stuck to the wall.
Yeah, and it sticks you to the wall. Well, then even better, the little mats are on wheels, so eventually you rise off the ground. So you're literally
I've always
off the
wanted to do
ground
one of those rides.
against the wall. And you can like move and stuff, turn upside down, and it's pretty awesome. It
I've always
makes
wanted
me
to do those.
sick now, but it was
Sounds
cool.
like a blast.
Oh, it was a blast when you were young.
So true. Ginger, my friends. Take ginger capsules.
Here we go. Middle-aged men try fairground roller coaster rides, and it's the
I'd be
five
done.
of us.
We all eat a corn dog and then get on a ride, and last one to barf
We're
wins.
going to end up like the kids on the Sandlot.
Love it.
Right? Oh, we got to play tequila too.
There we go.
No, but anyway, so yeah, so we do that. We do a couple other rides, and I remember the kicker was we did the swings where it's kind of like the swings at Lagoon, just miniaturized. We do that, and after getting off that, I was like, I gotta sit down, and I went and sat on this bench and I did everything in my power. Because like I said, we were still dating. I'm still trying to impress her. I did everything in my power not to throw up. And it got to the point I put my hand over my mouth and it was coming. And it ended up out of the
squirts
fingers.
through the
Like, yeah.
Isn't that the worst? Is when you try to stop it and then it like compresses and then really shoots out.
Right. It was like a sprinkler. Just
It's like
all,
a geyser.
But she was a sweetheart. She goes and grabs me like some napkins and different things to clean up. And yeah, I ended up going home and everything after that. Cause I'm the type, once I puke, I'm done. Like I'm almost sick into the next day. And so, but yeah, it was extremely awkward.
Oh dang.
Ugh.
That sucks.
Oh, so But another one with me and Jenny that was more funny than that. So flash forward, we had Jude. So it's a couple months after having Jude, and he's finally at an age where we feel comfortable leaving him with a sitter, and it's our first time going out on a date in months. And so we went to Farmington Station and went to Twigs, if you've ever eaten there.
Oh, love Twigs.
So good.
Yeah. So
You keep saying that place is delicious. I've never been,
Fantastic.
but
it's good.
one of my favorites.
you have like rave reviews on it. So
In my price range, it's a little pricey, but I thought it was really good. But anyway, so we go, and by this time it's probably fall time, pushing into winter, so it's getting kind of chilly. I even think that it rained a little, and so we waited forever for a table, and we tried to squeeze in between the doors to keep warm. And then when we finally got a table, we got the table closest to the door. And so every time someone walked in or out, we got this cold breeze. So we basically left our jackets on the entire date. Then at one point, Jenny reaches across the table for something and knocks my water onto my lap. And so now I'm soaked with ice cold water. And so now I want to, try and freshen up best I can. So I go to the bathroom, and in this restaurant, so we're by the door and the bathrooms are literally on the other side of the bathroom. So I go and use the restroom and everything. I start heading back to the table. I get pretty much just a couple feet away from our table, happen to look down, realize I've got probably a 3-foot strand of toilet paper stuck to my shoe.
That's awesome.
That I've walked across the entire restaurant with it stuck to my shoe. And I just sit down and I just can't help but laugh. I'm just busting a gut at this point because I'm like, the way this is set up, this would have been the perfect first date story. And it kind of was. It was our first date in months. But, oh, man, we still laugh about it. It was a good time.
Just a classic toilet paper stuck to
So
the shoe.
funny.
Yeah,
White
just classic stuff. Yep.
White snake.
I'm waiting for some awkward stories from you guys. Some more. Do you have any more?
I've got one that a friend told us. So our friends that are a mutual couple, they went out on a date, and they go to a restaurant, and the waiter's taking their order and everything, and then when they're trying to cash out at the very end of it, the waiter gives her the receipt with his phone number on it.
What?
When he went to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I wouldn't have given him a tip. I'm on your side of that.
No tip at all.
finally, you're on my side.
I am.
This guy's a loser. Here's my phone number.
In fact, he's not even getting paid for the dinner. We're running.
We're ditching.
We are
Quick.
out.
What kind of waiter does that? They're clearly there on a date. Like, I don't know. That's low.
Just like, this guy doesn't have a shot.
Me up. You know you want to go out with a guy that works at Chili's.
Did you see my uniform? I look good in my
I can get you a free molten cake.
I get fancy non-slip shoes. You want a pair?
Free Blondie. That's free Blondie. Do you remember Blondies? They're gone. At Applebee's?
What? That's a bunch of crap.
Sorry.
So
Way to bring me down.
Talking of
It's a vanilla. It's like a vanilla brownie with ice cream on it.
With caramel and
a vanilla
I just thought
brownie.
about that.
Oh, it's not.
So
I don't
it's
know
a
what it is.
whitey?
It's a white. It's a white brownie.
It's a white brownie.
So it's a whitey.
Yeah. What's
What-
a whitey?
Instead of a brownie,
It's
it's a
brownie.
white.
It's a
It's not brown, so it's a white.
I get
It's
it.
a whitey.
No, it's a blondie. That's why they call it a blondie.
Blondie. See? Now
I
it
thought
makes sense.
blondies were when you mixed the white with the brown,
Nope.
and it
No.
has kind of
It's a
and it has
swirl.
kind of that marble look.
Yeah, that's a
Nope.
That's
swirl.
marble.
That's a marble.
Got it.
Oh.
Yeah, Blondie. You never had a Blondie?
Nah.
No, you'll never know what you missed then.
Take it.
They're not-
pecan on.
All right. Weird dates.
All right, I got another one.
Moment of silence.
Actually, Cam,
I don't even know. I mean, I've been trying to think, and I can't think of any like awkward dates.
I've got one.
My first kiss was awkward.
Oh, mine too.
Tell us.
Well,
it
my
didn't
first one
happen.
with tongue.
Oh, Tony, I got one for
my
you.
first
Well,
kiss
see,
was
that's
way
funny
awkward.
because mine did include tongue just in the first one. So picture this. Okay, I'm going to divulge something. I was 17. when I got my first
Okay.
kiss.
First kiss?
All
17. I had a hard time talking to girls, like all the way through junior high. It
I'm
wasn't
right
until
there
like
with
the
you.
last half of high school that I could just go up to random girls and talk to them. If I knew them, if I had an in, like if they were girls that were friends with friends I knew, I could talk to them.
I never
But it was
picked up
I
the
could not
skills.
pick random people,
I could never. To this day, I still can't.
right? Now for different
He can't
reasons.
even talk to Kara.
He doesn't. They just grunt at each other. So I'm hanging out with this girl, and we're standing out in front of my junior high for whatever reason. We were at a friend's house, and he lives by it. And we were just standing there, and we were like talking, like hugging under the stars. And like I finally got the message, you know. I was receiving the right signals, and I was like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna kiss. This is gonna happen right now." So I go in, I give her the old smoocheroo, open the mouth. I thought I was doing all right. Well, we make contact, you know. It's like, oh my gosh, lips to lips. This is the kiss. This is the moment. And then, boom, tongue comes in like a friggin' ram. It comes in like think of a medieval movie when they're trying to get through a door using the battering ram.
Yeah.
That's what it came in like. Okay, that tongue was in there and it was searching. I don't know what it was searching for, but it was looking
Your
real hard.
feelings.
The lost
It was trying to
peanut.
find it. And then I realized in the very moment.
It was your own tongue.
No. That two things.
She didn't want it in there.
No. She knew where she was putting it.
The gum you were chewing on was gone.
I didn't have gum.
Oh, okay. But you found
I
gum.
realized that no, for some odd reason, she tasted like lime
That's a good taste.
Okay.
and she had peach fuzz on the upper lip and it was poking me.
Okay, I have had the peach fuzz before. That is weird.
And in that moment, all of my like hopes and dreams of a glorious first kiss just went away.
Hey, but the lime is great.
It was. And
I
she put
remember-
the lime in my
Coconut.
I finished it in my head.
So did I. We're on the same page. I want to know everyone's first kiss. I'll share mine. I was 15. It was the
Get
same like freshman, same thing. I was like, I cannot go into high school without making out with someone.
it's like a sitcom episode.
Right. So I remember I went to classic fun skating.
Oh,
bro.
yeah. Well, are we talking like the old one in
Yeah.
Ogden? Like
No,
Riverdale?
the one
In
over here in
Layton.
Or
Layton.
here in Layton?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Where
I
it had
went,
the club, the
glory days.
The laser tag turned into the club for
Oh, yeah.
minors.
It had the 90, the big old, the club.
Yeah.
Exactly. Played like 50 Cent and stuff.
Go
Go in there and do your crip walk like a gangsta. Oh, it was so cringy when you reflect back, dude.
I was all
Anyway.
about the, yeah.
Whatever, that was my prime.
And you peaked real early, Tony.
Tell me about it.
Anyway, I went there with this girl. Man, I so badly want to share names, but I'm not going to. And I remember I was there with Kelly. It might have even been with you. It might have been you and I.
You were his kiss?
No. And
You said you were never going to talk about it.
That's why they call you battering ram.
No, that's what his date was.
I know. I was just playing. I'll shut up.
I had to kiss the both you and Jenny to make sure, okay, these stone walls have to meet each other. No. Anyway, no, so I was there and I remember
dear
she made the
Lord.
move.
Nice.
She pushed me up against the wall, gave me a kiss, and I was like, cha-ching!
Do it again.
And I remember it was like, that was back when they had the lip gloss and it tastes like cake batter.
Yeah,
And I was like, yes!
dude.
And then she had this weird
I
stuff
love
on.
the flavored gloss.
It made your lips tingle. Do you remember that
Is
stuff?
it mint?
I think so.
I think that's from Slumber Party.
I was about to say the same.
Was that even around back then?
I think it's called.
It's
Never mind.
Different name. Okay, damn it.
Either way, it was popular back then.
Different MLM.
It was like some weird lip gloss and like made your lips tingle or something. Anyway,
She
I
left
left
an
and I remember,
impression.
I remember riding in the back of Kelly's car, just like, what happened? My lips tingle. Is that normal? I'm just like asking Kelly all these deep questions. Like,
Was that when he drove his first Prelude?
yes.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
I was just like, bro, this was just like next level, like magic.
Man, we're there, man. This is gonna be the best 4 years of my life.
Felt like I was like slipped drugs or something.
Maybe
Anyway,
you were.
maybe.
Maybe
I
it
don't
was
know.
just like, you
I
know.
was just like, this is
a nice
incredible.
fish. Big effing eyes, but a nice effing fish.
Dude, it's funny. I don't know why it made me think of this, but a friend of mine, this reminded me of my buddy's awkward date. And he went out with his girl. They had a nice night. Well, they go back to his apartment, and they same thing. She initiates it and jumps him basically and starts making out with him. So they're making out on the couch and stuff. Well, apparently this girl's into biting.
Oh dear.
So she bites him on the lip and bites him hard to where he almost baps her in the forehead. And she moves back. He's like, ow. And she looks at him and she's like, pussy.
I would love a girl to yell that at me.
I would be.
I'd be like, what?
You'd be like, that was awesome.
Okay, do it again.
That's hilarious. That is freaking hilarious.
No, that was not the biting, but my first, at least, make out with tongue. She was total tomboy, scary. She was the.
This is what I was gonna have you share.
Yeah.
This I didn't want to share names, but
Yeah.
you got to tell the whole story.
Give it to us.
I don't know the whole story.
Well, I mean, how it all lined up.
So-
That's really funny to me.
So the group of friends we had, this was in 9th grade, and yeah, the group of friends we had a whole diverse group of friends. But yeah, she was one of the guys. I mean, she wore the Janko jeans.
Oh, gosh.
And
Those were terrible on men,
she
too.
had,
yeah,
she wore a chain necklace. I mean, she was straight up the type that would go to a Slipknot concert, mosh, and win.
What did you see in her?
I didn't. No,
this
that's
is the best part.
That's just
All
it. So somehow she ended up having a thing for me and would chase me around.
And Tony would run screaming.
No joke.
Bro, she was scary manly. I'm talking straight
But the
torture.
The funny
scary.
thing is, though, is she was no taller than 5'5", if that. Tiny little thing, but scary.
ferocious.
So
You guys are giving him PTSD.
Pull off her stud belt and give you a little whip.
So one of our other friends, he was finally like, oh, all this cat and mouse stuff is stupid. He's like, and so he made us a couple by wedding vows.
My degree.
Basically.
I hereby
He was just like,
You
he just
guys are
looked
a
at
couple.
her. He looked at her. He's like, do you like him? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, do you like her? I was terrified. So I'm not going to say no.
Well, obviously.
Yes, I do. And so he's like, okay, you guys are a couple. And so from that point, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And I don't know how she ended up at my house, but we were at my house in my basement hanging out.
Never heard this story.
I don't know why that just scared the living hell out of me.
Sorry, I didn't mean
You got real close to the microphone or
Because you're
something.
just real intently listening.
I was expecting Tony's voice or something.
I didn't mean to go in that deep.
I should.
I just meant to say it like this. I've never heard this story.
But
Anyways, sorry.
Anyway.
That scared me, and I don't know why.
anyway, so we're in my basement, and again, I'm so awkwardly just trying to host her at my house, and I'm, trying to put on some music and just what?
I've never heard this host hurt.
Trying to set the mood.
Would you like a croissant? A cracker?
No,
Please don't beat me up. Please don't beat me up.
Please don't hurt me. Yeah,
A Lunchable?
she reaches for it. Don't hit me.
I don't know. That just got to me. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to.
You just painted an image in our heads.
but that's the perfect way because that's what I was doing. I'm trying to put music on and just like, are you comfortable? I'm just, and so anyway, we end up sitting on the couch and I don't remember what we were doing, but next thing I know, sure enough, she like pinned, like she grabbed, so we're side by side and she ends up like grabbing my shoulders somehow and like straightening me out. I'm like, oh gosh. And then she,
Oh, my back, you popped it. Good. Wow.
and then she just goes in for it and we start making out and I was totally manhandled and it was frightening. And that was...
She like picks him up, slams him against the wall. You're gonna like this.
Mine. Kiss now.
But anyway,
Couldn't have happened to a better person.
And I'm guessing. Wait, what grade was this again?
this was 9th grade.
I'm guessing you were a bit of a string bean.
Extremely.
Okay.
I'm gonna ride you till you die.
I can get a little freaky.
Okay, this reminds me.
Me too, but me next after you.
Okay. So your story reminds me of this one, and this one's super awkward because we never actually made it to any kind of date. It was the shortest relationship I've ever been in. So this is probably 8th grade, I think. There's this girl in my grade that I really had this huge crush on, and I'd always like, you'd see her in the halls and you're just like, oh man, like so cute. Oh, okay. But I would tell one of my friends like, oh man, I like this girl. She's so cool. She's so cute. She does this. I like her hair, like all this crap. Right. Well, that friend's like, well, you going to do something about it? And I was like, oh no, I can't do anything. He's like, no, I'll ask her out for you. I was like, what? And he's like, no, don't worry about it. And he just like disappears one day. Well, then he comes back to me like last period of the day and he's like, hey, she said yes. I was like, what do you mean she said yes? He's like, yeah, you guys are going out now. I was like, I've never even talked to her. And so he tells me we're dating, right? And I'm like, okay, I gotta go talk to her. So I go into like the common area of the school and I see her and I get so nervous. Like I'm like terrified, nervous. I walk up to her. I'm like shaking. I can feel my throat drying up. I go up to her and I'm like, hi, how are you? I could not speak above a whisper. I tried with all my might to just say words and it seriously looked like a scripted movie. I'm just like, hi, how are you? And then she's like, what? Which makes it 100 times worse. I can't hear you. And I'm like, how are you? She's like, okay, I gotta go. And she just runs away. Well, then the end of that day. So this is the day after. So the day before I was told that we were dating. Next day I tried to talk to her. End of that day, my buddy who got us together is like, yeah, she broke up with you.
I love that you have a messenger.
Yeah, dude, my relationship was all done by him and ended through him.
Well, you tell her.
Funny thing though, here it comes full circle. So this was in junior high. The next year I moved to Colorado. I was gone for 3 years till the middle of senior year. Come back. Well, she ends up being friends with another of my friends that I came back and started hanging out with again. And she's over at his house one day and I walk in and I see her. And at this point, I'm a completely different person. I'm open. I'm outgoing. I could care less what happens. And I looked at her and I was like, remember when we dated for a day? And she's like, I do. And we just laughed about it after that. We just thought it was the funniest, stupid thing in the world and just had a good old conversation.
Nice.
That's awesome.
It was resolved, which was weird, but my gosh, I can't think of another time in my life I've been that scared.
Okay, Chris, what's yours?
For real, that's exactly how it was.
So I got same situation as you. It was a little tiny little thing, but she was very
Aggressive.
not husky. That's bad. No, she was
Healthy.
Stout.
No, that's why I'm saying that was the wrong word. she was very brutish.
Oh, because that's better.
That is not better.
I get it.
Okay.
Husky means like she's fluffy, and brute means she's muscular.
She's a cannonball.
She was, yeah, okay, anyways.
She's just
jacked.
Spitfire.
Seventh
She's
grade.
twice the size of you.
Small but sturdy.
Yeah.
broad-shouldered.
She's a brick house.
That's not what that means.
Well, you break dog
That is not what that means.
Anyways, so 7th grade, my buddy asked her out, but it was a joke that I didn't know about
Asked her out for you.
for me. Asked her out for me, and I didn't know. Well, he comes, he's like, just so you're going out with blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? Yep. And he just laughs and left. Well, we go to class, and then after class, I'm like trying to avoid this girl because I was a chicken. I didn't want But so we meet in the common area, right? Well, we end up meeting up in the common area, not on purpose.
Common area. A lot of stuff happens there.
I forgot about the common area.
So-
Go ahead.
We meet up in the common area, not on purpose, and I'm like, hi. She's like, hi. And she's like, well, I gotta hurry and get to class. I was like, yeah, me too. And she's like, come here. So she went to kiss me, and I wasn't gonna object, but she goes to kiss me and just envelops my face. And I remember she's just going to town. And I just feel like her spit building up in my mouth. I was trying not to gag. I was trying not to gag. So I'm trying not to gag. And she's still going. I was like, okay, she's got to be close.
Don't you're gonna admit you're gonna be late.
But she doesn't. I don't gag, but I end up going like just like not fully there. I'm like, and that was the first time my tongue left my mouth, and she like looks at me and pulls me in even further.
Oh, bro.
So I was like, I gotta go. And I
You
left.
get the secret combo right
So
there.
Did you knock teeth?
yeah, we did. It was nasty.
Ugh.
I think she cleaned my teeth better than a dentist ever has.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my!
She got a cat tongue? Was it?
I don't. Anyways,
Wow.
it was bad. It was. Yeah. Anyways, she tastes like garlic and juicy fruit. It was.
Juicy fruit. That's because
It was not a
the
good
juicy fruit was covering the garlic.
It was
That is
horrible.
horrible.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And
No
like
wonder
I said,
you gagged.
but it was like it was more like a like right before I was gagging, like the first part of it.
Ugh.
I was just anyway. I broke off and I went and I had told my buddy, I was like, "You fix this."
Did you fix this now?
You fix this.
Tell her I turned gay. I don't know. Just get me out of
It
this.
was nasty. It was nasty. I had forgotten about that till you said something. I think that was one of those things that my brain tried to protect me from later on in life.
So I've thought of another funny date story.
Okay.
If anyone has anyone else got one? This one's pretty good.
I've got one, but I'm saving it.
Okay. All right. So, oh man, I can't recall. Okay. I remember now. We were at a concert and I met these two girls that were freaking awesome, like way super rad. And we hung out and just, I don't know. Obviously we were just in the same area, but I don't recall if we were in like a seated area or a G area or whatever. Anyway, we kept crossing paths and just kept hanging out. And by the end of the concert, I was like, hey, can I get your guys' numbers? I'd love to hang out with you guys and maybe go to another concert or whatever. Really, I was just looking for an excuse to get one of their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And have I told this story before?
It sounds
I feel
familiar.
like I have.
What
Anyway.
concert was it?
That one I couldn't answer.
There's too many. There's too many.
That's how I place it. It's like, oh, okay.
So anyway, I get the girls' numbers and you play that whole waiting game. Like, okay, I'm going to wait 3 days and then I'll shoot my shot.
The dating game, stupid.
Yeah, the dating
So
game
dumb.
sucks. So anyway, I fire off my text. I'm like, hey, how are you? Anyway, the texting goes great. And I line up my first date. And I'm like, sweet. So she lived quite a ways away. So I made the trek. It was like an hour drive.
Jeez.
And yeah.
Right then and there, I would have been like, nope, sorry.
Oh, but it was
Too far.
It was great because I was like, used my parents' car. I didn't care at the time. And Cam knows what I mean.
Yep.
Anyway, so I show up at the house and I knock on the door and the girl answers and it's
The wrong one.
the wrong girl. I got their names mixed up.
Oh no.
Anyway, so I'm like, hi. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but I was kind of alluding to like, is anyone else here? Like hoping that she just happened to be there and answered the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so
It's horrible.
I
gosh.
wasn't mad. Like they were both great. But it was just not the one I was envisioning. And so anyway, I go in and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to have fun. We're going to hang out and have the rest of our day. Well, anyway, it actually ended up working in our favor, my favor. And so I ended up really hitting it off with this girl, and her friend was fantastic. Love her to death, but actually ended up not being my type. So it was like stars aligned just mistakenly. And we ended up actually dating for a little while. And then she moved to California, which was sad. But at that time I was like, it's just a funny way to start the dating.
Did she know? Did you
No,
ever tell her?
I never
Okay.
told her. I never told her. Never ever. I would never.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, isn't that? Oh, it's that Friends episode.
Yeah, where Monica ends
Monica
up,
and yeah,
she wants to go sleep with somebody, and so she thinks of Joey. So she goes up to the room, and Chandler's there, so she settles for Chandler. But then they end up getting married and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But Chandler finds out about it, and he goes, "How do you think I feel? You went in for Batman and settled for Robin."
Oh gosh.
That's awesome.
so that whole mix up reminds me of one that I was told. This isn't the one I just mentioned I'm saving, but a friend of mine was telling me that he met this girl on Tinder, and they were talking back and forth on Tinder until they worked up the nerve to move to Facebook, and then from Facebook to actually swapping phone numbers. And
Hold up. They had to go through layers.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure like you could just talk on Tinder.
well,
like
I don't know that
Yeah,
this is
that's
just how
weird.
he told the story.
Yeah.
So anyway, they, after feeling comfortable, they decided that they wanted to meet up in person. And so he said, he's like, I wanted to get all dressed up, looking dapper, ready for my first date with her. And we decided that we were going to meet at the fountain at the Gateway. And so he said, he's like, I made sure, he's like, I got there kind of early. And when I first got there, he's like, there was just this old man and a couple of kids playing in the fountain and different things. And after a little bit, he's like, I gave her a call and just to let her know I was there. And she answered and said that she was there too. And so he's kind of looking around and doesn't see her. So he's thinking, oh, maybe she's just
Sorry.
You breaking stuff again?
No, I'm fiddling over here. I'm sorry.
Freaking fiddler.
But anyway, so he's like, I thought she was just kind of trying to be playful and different things, and I can't remember what he said. Somehow, like their conversation got cut off, or like the call dropped, or something like that. And so anyway, he's looking around, and he decides to call her back. Well, then, ironically, right as he calls and the person picks up, the old man sitting on the bench picks up his phone. He's like, no. And so,
bunch of popsicle.
and so kind of from where he's at, he said he could walk up behind the bench that the old man was sitting on. So he kind of talked a little bit, and I don't remember if he said he purposely hung up or did something, but anyway, he said he got close enough that he could hear the old man, and the old man was talking like a girl and pretending to be his date. And
he got catfished.
right.
Oh my gosh.
So after realizing that the old man is his date, in quotations, he just leaves. He's like, I'm not doing this, and tries to avoid this person for a couple days. Well, then they call again, and he finally answers, and they're like, what happened to you the other day? He's like, dude, you're an old man. He's like, I'm not. And the person was like, Well, after the conversations we were having, I didn't think it would matter.
Whoa.
He's like, no. He's like, I'm interested in women. And
What?
Wow.
I was expecting it to be like, no, I lost my phone. That's crazy. Oh my
Gross.
gosh.
Oh my
So-
gosh! Oh my!
Ugh.
I don't know how to feel
Ooh, I
about
feel
that.
dirty.
Right?
Catfished.
yeah.
So
But-
on top of going from Tinder to Facebook to phone numbers, you're also gonna need to get a criminal report.
Yeah.
Background check.
right.
Let this serve as a warning to all you Tinderettes out there.
I need a picture of you next to something with today's current date on it. Like,
This is me.
Seriously, doing a specific like gesture,
right?
a secret code.
I would,
That's
but
so
I couldn't
weird.
find one on Google. So I
Dude, this
Wow.
again. This is not an awkward date, but when you were telling your story, for some reason I thought about it, and it was this one time we were hanging out, and we went to, I can't remember if it was like after a concert or something. We went to Applebee's late.
Oh, Goose Chick?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Bro. So we go to Applebee's and we're just hanging out. I think we were with Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to Applebee's. We're hanging out. We eating some food. Well, this girl that's serving our table, she like starts. We're just talking to her, having fun. Like, you know, I get like flirting, but not flirting. You know what I mean? Like just having a fun conversation. Well, apparently she was getting off work, her and her friend soon, and so somehow they ended up getting invited to another friend's house, and we were all going to go to in the hot tub.
Yes.
To go sit in the hot tub.
Yep.
So we end up all going, and these two girls come with us, and one of them was super sweet on Austin over here. Bro, she wanted to jump his bones. And she brought her friend, and so we're all in the hot tub, and we're just hanging out. We're having a good time, just chatting and stuff. And the friend is just kind of, just a little bit of an odd duck, I might say. At least
girl.
starts out that way. Well, then we're just all chatting. At some point, we start making jokes about something, and somebody says something that apparently just tickled this girl's funny bone because she breaks out into one of the most horrific, like, goose noised laughs I've ever heard in my life.
demonstration.
Like, I mean, I'll try. She's like,
Sound like a donkey.
No, it's harder to hit it. Her, like, I kid you not, and Austin can vouch for
Yeah.
this. This woman sounded like a goose in distress.
Yeah. For real. It had something to do with like her diaphragm or something.
And all of us, we like started laughing. We're all laughing. And as soon as she started emitting this noise, we all just like, we all just froze. And for whatever reason, she was like locked in it. Like, it's like it made her laugh harder, and it just kept going. And she's like leaning forward and like, ah! And we're all just like, I'm looking at Austin. I'm like, what is this? Is this real? And I'm just like, this is one of the weirdest nights of my life. And
what concert was that? Do you
I
remember?
don't even remember what happened before that. Like,
I do remember that night, and I just remember being like, "Oh my gosh!" And then she tried to like kiss you, right?
gee, I don't know.
And then you like dodged it like Neo.
I was, yeah, bro. I was not having that. I'm not dealing with no goose
Well,
girls.
So here's the thing, like I hate like discriminating on people because she got hit by a car, right?
I think so.
And she had like a surgery, and so she wasn't like completely there.
You guys are messed up now.
Bro, you weren't there.
That was funny to.
like, you know what I
Should have
mean?
left
No,
that
like-
part out.
Oh, sorry. We can axe it.
I mean, she was definitely, she was very socially awkward. Like, she was there enough that she seemed like a normal person, but also just weird.
Yeah.
That reminds me of somebody I know.
And that laugh was just messed up. But here,
Why are
wait,
you looking at me? Are you, Cam?
what?
No.
Kara?
No. You would think I was going that way, but no.
Did Kara get hit by a car?
Well,
Might
no,
explain a lot.
to end it. So the one girl wanted to make out with Austin, but Austin's like, nah, I'm getting it. We're good. And then the other girl, knowing that she wasn't going to get with me, ended up making out with the other guy.
Yeah.
The other socially awkward dude
And
that
he
was there with us.
He was a 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
That was such a weird night.
It was so weird.
Like,
Guess you ought to be there. No, I'm just. That sounds like a wild night.
Oh man.
just any night with
Like
Chase.
Twilight Zone, huh?
You know what I mean? Just crazy.
Dude, it was freaking weird. It was so weird, dude. I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Oh man. Okay.
That's
I got
hilarious.
it. If we're getting close to ending this, I have to say this one
All right, go
because
for it.
it's almost unbelievable. But
I got a couple on the back end too. So
okay. But the person that told me this one, really good friend of mine that I work with, and I trust her that she wouldn't make this crap up. So she said she met this guy online, and they had been talking for a little over a month before they actually hung out, and they went to Fizz to get a drink, and then went back to his place to watch a movie. Well, she said when they got there, he just became he just started acting really weird. And he was like, do you want a drink? And she was like, well, we just went to Fizz, so no. and he's like, well, do you want some popcorn? And she's like, sure. So he gets up and he goes to get popcorn. And she said he was just being really weird and like kind of stalling a little bit. And so she said while she was sitting on the couch waiting for him, all of a sudden out of this other room, this woman comes out and she's just like, oh, maybe it's his sister or something. So she says hi to be polite and everything. And the woman says hi back. And anyway, he comes back in from making popcorn and he sits on the couch, but like as far away from my friend as he could. And this woman sits right next to my friend. And
oh no.
What?
Uh-oh.
So she says, let's see. So she says, she's like, she kind of looks around. She's like, what's going on? Like she asked this out loud. And the woman puts her hand on my friend's leg. And she says, she's like, we're married and we're just looking for someone we can date.
Oh.
So this married couple is looking for like a third party to date.
It didn't happen to tell
Oh
her
my
about it at
Please
all.
tell me she
So-
got up out of there as quick as
So
she could.
she just said, she's like, can you take me home? Like she was just like done. But yeah, she was talking to this guy for a little over a month from what she said. And he never mentioned anything. And then all of a sudden they get together, go on this date, find out he's not only married, but him and his wife want her to be their date.
Did they swipe together? Do you think they like tie their fingers together in some ritual and like swipe through Tinder?
That has to be how polygamy starts, right? Like, how else are you?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're not looking for a commitment. Just want a little piece on the side.
I mean, I've always been curious because, like, every once in a while, you'll be walking around, you'll see a bunch of women in old-fashioned dresses, and you're like, how do you get roped into that? It's so unique.
Right.
It kind of, unfortunately, they like get stuck in it.
I was going to say it's like a culture. They grow up in it thinking that that's just the way it is.
Wild.
But, yeah,
Weird.
but these were just like he came off as a normal guy
Until the popcorn.
until
He
the
fumbled at the popcorn.
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 Yeah.
Would you like some of my wife? I mean, popcorn. Dang it, I said it too early.
He just spikes it and walks out the door. I messed up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I feel dirty.
Guys, gonna say that's
I
horrible.
feel like I need a shower.
Right?
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like their fire's burning out or something, so they're looking for a way to spice things
How
up.
long
but
ago was this?
she didn't say. I don't know. She's in a pretty serious relationship now with another guy that they've been together for a while. So I'm assuming this was a while back. But yeah.
Man, that's heavy. Okay.
Gross.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like got the shakes.
Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
you go, Zach.
I don't know if
you
I
imagine
can. You just like took the mood out of the
being in that-
entire night.
Couldn't imagine being.
Wow.
We were having so much fun.
Oh, could you imagine being in that situation?
I don't know what I would do.
I'd just stand up and be like, just run.
Oh my God.
Just to be, I don't know. I don't know.
Dude,
Wow.
did you guys ever watch Take Me Home Tonight?
I love that movie.
It reminds me of that.
Yes,
when he's in the bathroom.
bathroom and he goes, "What's up, man? Can I help
Who's
you
this
out?"
guy? He's like, he won't do anything. He's just here to watch. What?
And then when he sits and he's like, I'm gonna let this happen. Like, and he kind of accepts it for a little
And then he
bit.
walks over. Doesn't the
I
guy
can't
end up
do
like
this.
touching him or whatever? He's like, "All right, I can't do this anymore."
That show's so funny.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, okay. So this is my own thing again.
You're just stock full of them, huh?
Dude, man, I was so
you met Zach?
awkward. I still am awkward.
Now you got me wondering how many dates I went on where they're like,
Yeah, I know.
man,
me
this
too.
guy.
God, well, so two separate stories. So the first one, you asked earlier about the first kiss. So my first kiss happened like 2 weeks before I turned 16. My buddy and his girlfriend really wanted me to go on a date with her friend, who so happened to be that I worked with at the movie theaters. And anyway, so no, this had to be after I turned 16 because I didn't start that. Anyways, so I find out that I actually work with her at the movie theaters like beforehand. So we're talking and I'm like, "Hey, yeah, you ready for this double date and all this stuff?" She goes like, "Yeah." So my buddy, he's like, "You need to kiss her." And his girlfriend is like, "Same thing, you need to kiss her." And I'm like, "I've never kissed anybody before. Like, you need to do it." So I'm like, "Okay." So we, I can't remember what we did. We ended up finishing the night at a park, laying on a blanket, watching stars. As we're laying there, next thing you know, you see the red and blue lights going. So
Is
I'm
it your
Such
dad?
a buzzkill.
Oh, am I jumping the gun? I'm sorry. Oh.
No, close.
Oh.
So we're laying there. We ended up going to just a little park inside of a church parking lot. Well, it's private
Private
property. So anyways, the cop pulls up, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this. So I get the blankets and I pull it over my face. And all of a
It's your
sudden,
mom and your dad's cop
well,
car.
I have the flashlight shining like right on me. I can tell. And all of a sudden I hear the cop go, "Who's underneath the blanket? Why don't you show yourself?" I immediately knew who it was. And I was like, "Oh no." So I pull the blanket off and I'm like, "Hey." And he goes, "Zach, what are you doing here?" It's my dad's buddy, like one of his best friends. And I'm like, we're seriously on a double
trying to
date.
mac on this girl,
And he's like, "Whatever, man." He's like, "You guys out here making out?" And we're like, "No." Well, he proceeds.
Not yet.
Not anymore.
Long story short on that one, he proceeds to tell my dad that he caught me in a park making out with a girl. I tell my dad, "No, it was nothing like that." He won't believe me. Anyways, we end up getting up. We leave. We're like, "All right, let's call it a night." So we go home. We drop her off first. So I've got those two in the car staring at me while I'm at the front porch. I end up leaning in for a kiss. I'm shaking horribly. And then finally give her a kiss and I back off. I put my arm around her like she's my best friend, like a buddy. And I'm
gave her
like,
a side hug.
kind of a side hug. And I'm like, "We should do this again sometime." And I turn around and so, "Have a good night." And I like took off and I went into the car and they were like, "How was it?" And I'm like, "Never again. That was horrible."
Oh my
That
God,
was,
dude.
I feel awkward right now.
I feel
it was literally-
embarrassed.
I feel like the only way that could be worse is if it was like on Just Friends and you gave her a body shake.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking you were going to say, I leaned in and I gave her a body shake.
Well,
Oh,
let me just
jeez.
tell you, it was just as awkward for her,
Oh no.
and we had to work with each other. So, needless to say, we never did go on another date again.
Man,
Just
this was
side
supposed to be
hug
such a
every
light episode. I feel so heavy.
Did you learn to go to a different district?
Right? So, another time, same buddy.
This happened again.
Well, so we go to his girlfriend. We go to it's girl we went to school with, all that stuff. She ended up moved to South Weber. So one night we get invited to go to her house. We're like, okay, so we go over there, watch a movie. There's a girl there who apparently I made a really good connection with that I didn't know about. She like
Kind of connection we talking about?
well, she apparently like thought I was good looking. She thought I was funny. She wanted to date me. I didn't know anything of the sorts. And so my buddy tells me afterwards, he's like, hey, do you remember so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, she really wants to date you. Okay.
Take her a pineapple.
Give her a body shake.
So this is how weird this gets.
Oh boy.
So I call her a few
Oh, boy.
times. We start talking, and then I get her email address.
Oh,
And
making waves.
literally the next like 3 weeks of conversation was all through email. We decided to be boyfriend, girlfriend.
Oh, this is like You've Got Mail.
Yes.
Oh.
A couple weeks later, I just said, I don't want to do this anymore. So I email her and say, I'm breaking up with you.
Rude.
Fast forward, like 4 years or so. No, it'd only been a couple of years. Anyways, I was like 17 years old. So this happened probably when I was 15 or 16. Fast forward. Anyways,
Don't mix up your timelines. Kara's gonna be real
I know,
suspicious.
right? I'm like 17.
Fast forward like
and-
5 years. Wait, no.
No, because if I fast forward 4 years, that would have put me right around 20, which we got married. Though.
I know.
So
Therein lies the issue.
somehow I can't remember, but we connected again. She got my phone number, I got hers. We started texting, and she was like, "Hey, remember when we dated?" And put quotation marks up because we didn't really date. And I was like, "Yeah, how silly was that?" And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "It's funny. I always wanted to kiss you, and I never got to kiss you." And I'm like, "Well, let's make it happen."
Oh, so bold.
And I had her sneak over to my house at like 1 a.m.
Wait, at your parents' house?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm sleeping downstairs. So there's no, so I open my window, pop the screen out. She sneaks in. We start making
You
out.
live with a cop.
Wait for
Oh
it.
my God!
We start making out.
No.
Come find out. And I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast because she was a horrible kisser.
Oh, sad.
Biting the lip constantly, pulling just like it was a raw chunk of
Pinching your
meat.
nipple.
So I kind of stop things, and she ends up sitting up, and I'm just kind of just sitting there in bed. Next thing you know, my door opens. What's going on in here? And I'm like, Dad, it is not what you think it is. And he
Did
goes,
you have a flashlight?
no.
it.
He
have a gun?
had just heard noises. He had couldn't sleep well, so he came downstairs to sleep in the spare bedroom, which I didn't put anything together. It's right next to my room. And
This is what he heard.
And I'm like, Dad, this is not what you think it is. And he goes, sure it's not. And he goes, I'm going to be back in 5 minutes and she better not be here. So he shuts the door, and I'm like, all right. So she sneaks out the window.
Why even sneak? Just go in the front.
She goes back out the window.
It was the fastest exit.
The next morning, my dad's like, so if it wasn't what I think it was, what was going on? I said, she got in a fight with her boyfriend and she needed someone to talk to. I'm making up this story. My dad's like, oh yeah, what was her name? And I'm like, Melissa. What's her last name?
Oh dear.
I don't know. And he was like, all right then. He's like, what were you doing? I said, all right. I invited her over to make out, and it was horrible. And he goes, okay, thanks for being honest. He's like, just don't do it again.
Oh my God, dude. I am uneasy in my chair right now.
Fast forward. I'm now married to Kara. My dad calls me on the phone and he goes, hey, do you remember a Melissa? And I'm like, trying to process it. And he says her last name. And I'm like, yeah.
I've
And
got
he
her
goes-
in a lineup.
He goes, at the time he was working security at the hospital. And he goes, Yeah, she's one of the RNs here, and she came over and said, "I remember you. Do you remember when you walked in on me and your son making out in his bedroom?" My dad's like, "I do remember now. Thank you for that."
I thought that was gonna take a full left turn and be like, yeah, you've got a son and he's
Yeah,
four.
seriously. I mean, I'm a good kisser, but wow.
What did you bite out of my lip?
Right. Needless to say, that is the last I've ever heard from her.
Man, I feel heavy.
That was
She got arrested that day.
You need a bro hug.
Dude, every time you open up about stories of your life, I just feel so bad. Like, I just...
I want to hug you, give you
Do you guys
candy.
finally understand why I am the way I am?
More and more every day.
in ways I wish I didn't.
I'm seriously uneasy right now. Like I've got like the weird coffee jitters.
I'm all clammy.
and I haven't had coffee.
My hands are all I'm so nervous for you.
Yeah.
I finally realized that I wasn't the most awkward child.
Right?
You just realized this?
I mean, I always had my suspicions.
Oh. Oh.
Well, there
Oh
we
my
have
gosh,
it.
that was great.
That's a great
Yeah, that's-
story to end on, man.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. I hope you guys all felt just as awkward as the rest of us.
And can I finish off with this? Girls, I am so sorry for guys. Like a lot of the stories, there is a lot more that we didn't get to, and I apologize if I didn't get to your stories that I had, but I am so sorry for guys.
Yeah. Just know that we're just as terrified, if not more, than you are.
I think that's half the reason why guys do some of the weird stuff they do.
Oh, yeah. I would say 100%. Like, well, because you got to think there's so much pressure on us to make the moves.
You know,
It's
I
true.
do. That actually reminds me, just real fast. Jenny said that when we first met, she thought I was like some kind of womanizer. Like she said, just by my look and
You
stuff.
got that vibe.
But that's the thing is, I'm so awkward when it comes to dating and girls and stuff. But yeah, it wasn't until after we opened up to each other and I told her, and she's like, "Oh, you're not at all what I expected."
It's funny. I'm actually going to stick with Jenny on that one. The first time I met you, I thought you were some machoed up
He's got that slick hair.
douchebag type person. Like seriously, I was like, when Kara was like, "Yeah, we're going on a double date,"
I'm glad you took that crown.
and then
That's
she
what they said about
introduces-
me.
No, you're just old.
No, you're our cowboy.
Which didn't make any like it made sense then, but you just had a full beard. We didn't.
You did have gauges and stuff too. I mean,
I had to go tea.
did
You
I?
did?
I did.
I feel like all of us could be douchey in some way or another. Austin was a Hollister model for crying out
Oh
loud.
boy,
He may be douchey, but he's our douche.
He's our douche.
I am your
He's our
douche.
douche.
I don't know what you were talking about.
Austin's like our Schmidt off of New Girl.
Oh my god! Yes! I would love to be Schmidt.
Yes.
Does that make him our Nick?
Nick Miller.
I have no idea.
No, he's Winston. He's
Oh, yeah,
so
you're
awkward.
right.
You're Winston.
Okay, you're Winston.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say I'm not douchey at all. I'm just completely
Really? Have you seen how you tip?
So
touche. All right.
Just
Like I
kidding.
said, I'm just completely awkward. That's why when I landed Kara, I was like, I'm marrying her because I am not
She held
doing
my
this
hand.
again.
We're out.
She made the move.
She made the move. She held my hand, and all she's thinking is I've held everybody else's
I've
hand.
held all
This
the
is no
hands
big deal.
in Weber.
She's all business as usual.
He thinks this means something.
On that note, my wife's gonna kill me now. Let's call it a night.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, crowd. This was fun.
If you have any awkward dating stories, please tell us down below in the comments. I really want to hear them.
Yes, let's hear them.
Ease the tension in this room. Let us share some of the embarrassment, please.
Help everyone
I'm-
know that they're all awkward.
I'm sure this is another fun one we'll come back to because I got
got more?
plenty more to share.
I'm
yes.
excited.
More?
Yes.
I'm excited for like years down the road when we can share our children's awkward stories.
The sad thing, he's got so many awkward stories, and yet he started dating, let's guess, 15 and got married at 20. So in 5 years, he's got a lifetime worth of awkward stories.
He found his hand.
So really, he was just the most gung ho
Did you
out of
say
all
I
of
found
us.
my hand?
That was supposed to be under
In Kara's hand. It was in Kara's hand. What were you thinking?
We're going somewhere
Never
else with
mind.
that.
Thanks for
Well,
dancing
that's
on
all right.
this
That's
crowd,
a wrap.
everybody.
I'm sorry. Bye.
We love you guys. Bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Love you.